Hello everybody, what is going on? My name is Tom, and in today's video we're going to be taking you step by step through how to achieve a solo run of the oil rig monument that has been added into Rust Console Edition as of recent. So, big steps that you need to prepare for is to gather as much crude oil as you can. That's the little jars of the yellow stuff. Gather as much of that as you can by smashing barrels, and if you can refine it with a bit of, with refined fuel and some wood in a refinery, then do that. But if not, just smash some barrels with your rock when you first spawn in, then make your way down to the coast and try and steal yourself a boat. Even if you have limited fuel sources to begin with, you can find these red barrels out at sea on little rafts, and these do contain a little bit of fuel. Bear in mind there will be other players trying to get to the oil rig, so do be careful that you try to do this at a quiet time on your server. As you see, I'm driving my boat over here in the sea, and in a moment I passed a little raft there, and a player was on that raft, but luckily for me he disconnected or logged off. So I've got my boat, I sailed myself to the oil rig. You will have to look on the map, it'll be out at sea. It won't show up at first, but if you zoom in out at sea you will see it, and that is obviously an indication of where you need to travel to. Once you get to the oil rig, the world is your oyster, as long as it's quiet. So like I say, time your adventure with the server population. Try and server, around 10 to 15 players normally is safe. That's the type of player count I had when I went to the oil rig, and at the end of the tutorial something interesting certainly did happen where I was sadly encountered, but I was very, very skilled and got myself away very stealthily using nightfall, which is good. So oil rig is a new place, it's a new POI. Like the dome and the satellite station, it's going to be populated. There's going to be groups and clans trying to get themselves over there. There is some decent loot, and there is a little puzzle you can do there as well to get even more loot. But there will be loot spawning in on that oil rig, so because it's a new place, it's a new POI, people will want to explore there, obviously. So there will be a bit of a firefight to get there whilst it's new. If you're not too bothered about getting there super fast, unfortunately, I had to get there day one. Doing content creating, I need to stay ahead of things. So I needed to get there day one. So I had to push for myself to try and get to this oil rig safely. And I was very, very lucky that I timed it well and was able to gather my resources efficiently and get on a boat and sail over there and try and get as much done as I could before the enemy team did arrive. And as I say, eventually I was able to sneak past them. And that was quite good because it's been able for me to capture some footage of the oil rig and show you guys what there is. But is it something that you need to stress over and run out there for? Definitely not. If you're a casual player, if you're someone who dabbles in Rust from time to time and you don't make content on it, I wouldn't stress yourself if you trial and error it. Do it for fun. If you can't make it there, give it a couple of weeks, give it a month. Normally people lose interest by then, and then you'll be able to go and explore it as easy as you can, dome and satellite station now. People will go to these monuments because they want loot, and Rust is all about loot. And it's about obviously trying to get yourself to these monuments as best as you can. The more firepower, the more risk, the more team you've got, the more security, things like that. But this was my solo guide of doing it, and it was literally to smash those barrels day one with the rock as quick as you can, get as much crude oil, hop into a boat and zoom yourself over, stopping every now and then at those rafts to smash the red barrels to get some fuel. And as long as you do that and keep that in mind, you should get there pretty easily. And you shouldn't have much worry, really. There was, like I say, a good number of people on the server. Yeah, I think there was about 10 to 15, and I was able to sneak onto the oil rig very quickly and efficiently, loot it up and get off it in a decent amount of time with everything that I'd stolen. And it gave me a good standing because I went on and did a 2-hour live stream. This is a segment of that 2-hour live stream over on my Twitch, is where I stream a lot of Rust content with my friend Sith. And I went over and did a 2-hour live stream with him after completing this loot run, and it gave us the stamina to pretty much go from like 7 in the afternoon, or 7 at night, sorry, till about 4 in the morning. So we were able to get a lot of stuff done because of the loot I found on this oil rig. So it's a great place to loot. Very competitive hotspot, so do be careful. If you do have a group, fantastic. If you're a group of geared people, don't be horrible, don't be toxic. Obviously loot it as and when you please, but if you see some noobs over there not causing any threats, do leave them alone and let them grab some loot too, because these new POIs can be absolute bloodbaths at the best of times. So just bear that in mind. If you've got enough loot to get by, don't be greedy. Like the guys who came over whilst I was looting these boats, they were greedy. I don't know how well you can see them because it is dark, but 4 or 5 of them climbed up the oil rig whilst I was swimming around looting these boats, which also spawned some pretty good loot. And I was able to sneak back to my boat and jet off into the moonlight. But subscribe for more Rust content, ding dong that notification bell. Road to 5k has begun, so help us out the best you can, and peace out for now. Goodbye.
Switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia. Darling, I'm just so fed up with what does perfect even mean?